Good morning, everyone. It's September the 1st, 2015, and most of the United States east of the Rockies is greeted with warmer than normal temperatures as summer continues. So let's enjoy it. Come January, February, we'll look back on these days with a little bit of fondness, I would imagine. Another big night in the stock market. The selling started in the United States yesterday. The E-mini finished weak on its lows, off 115 points. China's economic news was not good last night, with both of their manufacturing PMI indexes coming in less than 50 and the CAC's in at 47.2 or 3. So Asia collectively is off 7.29. Europe is collectively is off 6.68, and the E-mini's off some 30 plus points. So not a good night for the stock market. Yesterday our assessment was that the bottom wouldn't fall out of the market because it was the end of the month, and that tended to at least hold the market in a trading range. But we did finish weak, and the selling has continued overnight in the stock market. In fact, right now we're at actually we're off 40 points at 1929. So stock market is set to break. The talk is that the odds of a interest rate increase in September are, I think, a little over 40%, down from 50% plus at the first of the month, 1st of August. So people are scratching their heads. The Fed has said we're going to raise interest rates sometime. Again, when I look at all the data around the globe and the ramifications of such, it's pretty hard for the Fed to raise interest rates. Maybe a Pyrrhic victory. I mean, they will take the stock market lower when they do that. Financials have corrected a great deal off of their highs, so that would bring in selling in the financials or treasuries. It probably wouldn't be as bad as it would for the stock market. So here we find ourselves with the E-mini pointing lower, and we do have news today. We have motor vehicle sales, which 17.3, that's a big number. PMI manufacturing at 53, down from last month. Although the PMI numbers for the United States have tended to come in higher than forecast. ISM below last month's number at 52.8, so basically 53. Then construction spending at plus 0.8. This number never makes its call. It always comes in lower than that. So the focus is going to be ISM manufacturing index. And like I said, China's PMIs, manufacturing PMIs, were a big disappointment. Probably the bright spot is vehicle sales at 17.3. That is a big number. So we've got a pretty clean break right here. We are now in the December contract. It's about 30 seconds below. That's about where it normally is. So you can see right here, this 27.16 area is where resistance does lie. So the easiest trade to see is failure to take out 16 to 20. So a 15 to 19 sell one. And again, it's just going to be how bad is the selling today in the E-mini. Sell 2. 23 to 27. On the buy side, we're at 12. It's right in the middle, 5 to 9. On the idea the stock market is going to sell, is going to be buy 1. And then 1 to 29 will be buy 2. News focus. ISM manufacturing followed by vehicle sales. Okay, the knob spread widened considerably overnight, as it does when the things look bright in the financials. We went out yesterday at 26.30. This morning at 5 a.m. it was at 27.24. Pretty healthy number. Like 3/4 of a point gain. That if you don't want to play outrights, and spread margins are even lower. You can put spreads on. You can still trade outrights around them and not get yourself in trouble. Okay, again, I think the easiest trade to see is failure to take out 12 to 16. The market is up, so 11 to 15, sell 1. Then I'm going to open it up to the top of value up here. We're going to make 27.31, sell 2. On the downside, have the single print at 26. We're at 04, 25, 29, buy 1. And we'll put a question mark at 01. And then the London low was at 8. Next rotational low was at 17, so we'll make 13 to 17, buy 2. Okay, gold is higher overnight. Risk off buying would be my guess. Just like in treasuries. Although that, again, that model, if you count on that to make trades, it doesn't work very well. E-mini down, gold up. Sometimes it's there, sometimes it's not. So resistance is at 45. 43, 45, sell 1. 49.51, sell 2. On the buy side, the breakout came from 36, so 35, 37, buy 1. And 30, 32, buy 2. The E-mini sells. I think gold will, at least trade sideways today, worst case. Okay, China did intervene in their stock market like they said they weren't going to do, but again, saving face. The state is all powerful. The state is omniscient. Their economy is different than anybody else's. They've proven that you can marry top-down control with capitalism, and therefore, so they're going to be buying into their stock market as long as they can. Now, they started off with a $1.3 trillion in treasuries, and that's their bank account. So they got about a year's worth of ammunition to support their currency, to support their stock market and their economy, and then they're out. And that liquidation of $1 trillion worth of treasuries over the course of the year can only take our market lower. So the Fed, and China's asked the Fed not to raise rates, creating even more pressures on them. So we'll have to see how she plays out. Okay, the 1325 got up there in London. It was sold in London. See this high over here. You can see this spill. We're at 1261. So the 1290, 1300, sell 1. 20 to 30, sell 2. Just basically going to lean against resistance. On the buy side, we had the Asia low at 42 and at 12, so 20 to 30, buy 1. Then the buck for buy 2, and it might take 50s to get on. I don't know. We just like to buy it on the cheap, and I really don't like the long side of the market. I think the trade is to find a place to sell it, because the European Central Bank wants the euro lower so they can export more goodies and increase inflation at the same time. Hey, life is good, right, if you're a central banker. Some of these, there's some really funny articles out there that you see all the time. The Fed's been wrong on their forecast 50 times in a row. Will they be right on their 51st forecast? Does the Fed ever get anything? If the Fed never gets anything right, how can their policies be expected to work? And I mean, there's some irony in those headlines. I mean, it is true if you think about it. Nobody likes to think about it, but That's where we are. Top of values 48.31. Last rotate up in W period was 36. The next period was 31. We're at 83, so 48, 48 and a quarter, sell 1. Then 75 to 49, sell 2. On the buy side, this 2-letter ledge down here, so 47, 47 and a quarter, buy 1. And then 46 and a quarter, 46 even, 46 and a quarter, buy 2. Going to give it some room to the downside. Okay, Russia has sent an advance group to open up an air base outside of Damascus. There was an article out yesterday that the Damascus suburbs, there's fighting in the Damascus suburbs. So Russia is going to actively support Syria. That I'm sure is done with the blessing of our current administration. The tensions in the Middle East are escalating, and the participation in the war in the Middle East is getting broader and wider if Russia directly sends troops there. And they are, according to the press reports. Okay, the E-mini. Take a look at the F1 screen. You see we rejected prices below 1850 and we're at 1930 right now. 1900 would take us, a little bit below 1900 would take us 10% off the highs, 200 point. So 1900 would have us a 10% correction, 20% correction takes us down to about 17, a little bit above 1700. Yesterday there was an article out how the E-mini rallied up and just touched its 50-day moving average, and it held, and it started lower from there. So we're under selling pressure. 1900 is obviously a support point, as is 1925. So these large round numbers probably will have more bearing on where support is than anything else. So we have the overnight session low of 20. The last rotate down in T period is 25. So this is our buy 1 area. It's broad. It picks up where we were overnight. It is support. Our second area, you've got this M period low right here in the 1910 area. So 1910, 1915, assuming that the Fed will support the market. And the only reason that I would see buying in today's market would be from Fed intervention. 35 plus or minus 1, and then 40 to 45 sell 2. And obviously 50 is a big number, so it's just, things look pretty bad right now, technically and fundamentally. And I think there is one sell left in the market, and the support for the market can only come from the Fed, in my opinion. We do have news this morning that could be a factor. I think the best economic news will come from total vehicle sales at 17.3, but that's generally not completely in until noon, when they read in total the individual manufacturers' numbers. PMI manufacturing 53. That's markets. It doesn't get much of a following. That one has tended to come in a little higher than forecast for the U.S. ISM manufacturing 52.8. That will be the market's focus. And construction spending, no one pays any attention to that. Okay, it's going to take a bit to get everything wrapped up and put into place. I'm going to get busy on that. I'll be back with you as soon as possible.